Have you ever noticed how the moment you stop chasing her, the moment you go quiet, she starts acting differently? Suddenly her texts take longer, her replies are more cautious, and she begins wondering if she's losing you. It's not coincidence. It's not manipulation. It's something far deeper. A hidden part of female psychology that very few men ever understand. And today I'm going to reveal it to you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why silence can be more powerful than words, and how going quiet strategically can make her mind obsess over you, without you even trying. Let's be real, that most men are terrified of silence. You've been there, haven't you? She doesn't reply for a few hours and your heart races. You start overthinking every word you sent, wondering if you did something wrong. You pick up your phone again and again, feeling the panic creep in. But here's the truth, she notices it too. Women are wired to respond to emotional energy. When you're constantly available, constantly reacting, constantly chasing, she begins to take you for granted. Your presence becomes predictable. Your attention becomes expected. And here's the kicker. Predictability kills desire. Desire is born in uncertainty, mystery, and emotional imbalance. The moment you go quiet, the moment you stop giving her the constant emotional feedback, she starts noticing a void. And that void triggers something deep inside her mind. Point 1. The power of emotional absence. Imagine this. James from New York had been texting Sarah every single day for 3 months. Good morning texts, good night texts, memes, jokes, check-ins, the whole 9 yards. And then one day he stopped. Not because he was angry, not because he lost interest, and he just went quiet. No calls, no texts, no notifications. At first, Sarah didn't notice, but after a day she did, then 2. By day 3, she found herself checking her phone every 30 minutes. She wondered, why isn't he texting me? Did I do something wrong? Does he even care? This is the power of emotional absence. Humans are wired to notice gaps in attention. And for women, who are highly tuned to emotional cues, this absence creates an invisible gravitational pull. When you're always there, your value is taken for granted. When you're gone, even briefly, she begins to measure her own feelings against the loss of your attention. Here's the psychology. Women attach value to scarcity. The harder you are to reach, the more her mind begins spinning. She starts imagining what you're doing, who you might be with, and why she's not the center of your world. That tension, that's desire. And it's irresistible. Point 2. The mind games you're already playing without knowing. Now, before you panic, I'm not talking about manipulation. I'm talking about human nature. Think about Olivia from London. She had been dating Michael for 2 months. He was attentive, caring, and kind. But he had a rule. He never responded instantly. Sometimes he took hours, sometimes days. At first, Olivia thought it was inconsiderate. But slowly, she realized she couldn't stop thinking about him. She wondered what he was doing, who he was seeing, why he wasn't immediately available. Michael wasn't playing games. He was simply living his life and holding a boundary. But Olivia's brain interpreted the emotional absence as value. When you go quiet, you create a psychological gap. Her mind is forced to fill that gap, and often, she fills it with thoughts about you, the things she misses, the moments she treasures, the excitement she feels when you're around. Point 3. Scarcity breeds obsession. Here's the harsh truth most men don't understand. Obsession is not built through constant attention. Sarah in Toronto told me once, I didn't realize how much I wanted him until he stopped texting me back. Suddenly, every memory, every laugh, every conversation we had came rushing back, and I couldn't stop thinking about him. It's scarcity. When your attention isn't guaranteed, her mind creates stories, memories, and fantasies, and those stories make her feel a longing she didn't feel before. This is where Stoic philosophy intersects with modern dating. By maintaining your composure, by not overreacting, and by going quiet strategically, you become a figure of stability and mystery at the same time. Your silence isn't just absence. It's presence with control. It's a subtle way of showing, without saying a word, I'm in charge of my life, and you're lucky to be a part of it. Point 4. The moment she starts losing her mind. So how does it actually manifest? What happens in her head when you go quiet? Let me explain. Day 1, curiosity. She notices your absence. Slight confusion. Day 2, reflection. She remembers the moments you shared. Her mind wanders to conversations, laughter, moments of intimacy. Day 3, emotional pull. Anxiety starts creeping in. She wonders if she did something wrong. She feels a subtle loss and emotional void. Day 4, mental obsession. She starts imagining scenarios. What you're doing, who you're with, why she can't reach you. That pull is irresistible. At this point, your silence has created emotional tension. And tension is desire. Desire is the mother of obsession. Point 5, how to go quiet without destroying the connection. Now let's be very clear. Silence isn't about ignoring her or being cruel. It's about holding value while giving space. Here's the approach. Define your boundaries. Decide when you'll respond and when you won't. Don't text endlessly or give attention on demand. Stay engaged in your life. Go to the gym. Hang out with friends. Work on your career. A man fully immersed in his life is naturally magnetic. Keep interactions meaningful. When you do communicate, make it count. Share insights, tell stories, make her feel something, not just small talk. Be unpredictable but consistent in value. She should never feel like your attention is guaranteed, but she should always feel your presence has weight and importance. This approach isn't just effective, it's stoic. It's about self-control, emotional discipline, and letting value speak louder than words. Point 6, real-life example, the London experiment. Consider Daniel from London. He had been dating Emily for 6 weeks. Emily was highly attentive and constantly texting, while Daniel was respectful but always busy with work and gym sessions. One weekend, he decided to go completely quiet. No texts, no calls. He wasn't rude. He just lived his life. By the second day, Emily was checking her phone obsessively. By the third day, she sent a message like, "Hey, I feel like I haven't heard from you. Everything okay?" She wasn't upset. She was mentally hooked. Her mind had started spinning, creating desire, anxiety, and curiosity all at once. By the time Daniel responded, she was fully invested. She was thinking about him constantly, recalling moments they shared, and craving his attention, not because he chased her, but because he went quiet strategically. Point 7, why most men fail. Here's why most men fail to use this power. They fear losing her attention. They panic when she doesn't reply immediately. They confuse being emotionally available with being valuable. They chase, they over-explain, they over-apologize. They don't understand female psychology. They see silence as rejection when in reality it sparks desire. When you go quiet with composure, you aren't pushing her away. You're activating her mind, making her wonder, reflect, and ultimately crave you. Point 8, the stoic angle. Here's something most men don't realize. The reason they panic when a woman doesn't text back isn't because she's ignoring them. It's because they've surrendered control over their own emotions to something they cannot influence. And this is where stoicism becomes a game changer. Stoicism teaches one fundamental truth. You cannot control external events, only your reaction to them. Her texting patterns, her attention, her feelings, none of these are under your control. You cannot make her respond. You cannot force her attraction, and you cannot manufacture desire. What you can control is your own behavior, your own energy, and your own emotional response. Let me give you an example. Daniel from Sydney had been seeing Olivia for a few weeks. Olivia was amazing, but she wasn't always responsive. Most men in his position would panic. They would overanalyze every pause in texting, every delayed reply. They'd start texting more, over-explaining, even apologizing for imagined mistakes. Daniel, however, approached the situation differently. He remembered a core Stoic principle. It's not the event that matters, but your judgment about it. When Olivia didn't reply immediately, he didn't overreact. He didn't chase. He didn't let his emotions dictate his actions. He stayed calm, focused on his own life, and let silence do its work. What happened next is fascinating and something every man should understand. Olivia's delayed responses became moments of tension, curiosity, and anticipation. Because Daniel had not given in to emotional impulsivity, his absence began to carry weight in her mind. She started noticing his value, reflecting on the moments they shared, and feeling the subtle pull of desire. This is the power of Stoicism applied to female psychology. By controlling your response, you create emotional sovereignty. You are no longer a reactive man who bends and sways based on her attention. You are a man who stands firm, unshakable, and in control of his own mind. That calm, composed energy is magnetic. It's irresistible. It's the exact energy that makes her wonder, why isn't he chasing me? Why doesn't he react like other men? But Stoicism doesn't just teach calmness, it teaches discipline. Discipline in how you respond, discipline in maintaining boundaries, discipline in managing your own attention and energy. When you resist the urge to overtext, overchase or overexplain, you're demonstrating strength, not arrogance, not manipulation but inner power. Women are subconsciously drawn to that strength because it signals a man who is independent, self-reliant, and emotionally mature. And here's the twist. Your stoic silence doesn't just maintain emotional control, it sparks psychological desire. Desire is rarely built by constant attention. It grows in the spaces in between, when the pauses, the absence, the tension. By going quiet, by not reacting to every text or call, you create a subtle emotional imbalance. She notices the gap and her mind begins to fill it with thoughts of you. Memories replay, feelings intensify, and before she realizes it, she's thinking about you constantly. That pull? That's desire being born organically, psychologically, and powerfully. This is the perfect intersection of Stoic philosophy and female psychology. Your self-control creates attraction. Your emotional sovereignty fosters desire. Your discipline and calmness transform your absence into presence. And all of this happens without you saying a word, without chasing, without over-explaining, without begging for attention. Remember, most men fail because they think attraction is created through attention. It isn't. Desire is created through value, mystery, scarcity, and emotional tension. Stoicism equips you with the mindset to harness these forces naturally. It teaches you that your worth is not dictated by her responses, and that your energy and attention are valuable. Commodities, not something to be given away recklessly, so the next time she doesn't reply immediately, don't panic. Don't overthink. Don't chase, pause, breathe, maintain your stoic composure. Live your life fully. Let your absence carry weight. Let your silence speak louder than words. And watch as her mind begins to spin as desire grows, and as your emotional sovereignty makes you unforgettable. Point 9. How to master this without playing games. Here's something almost no man understands. Going quiet isn't about playing games or punishing her. It's not about ego, pride, or proving some invisible point. Most men think that if they don't reply immediately, she'll lose interest, or worse, that they're losing control. The truth? The opposite is happening. Imagine James from Los Angeles. He had been texting Emma constantly for weeks. He thought that being attentive, always responsive, and constantly available was showing her he cared. But Emma started taking it for granted. She didn't panic when he didn't reply immediately because, frankly, she had become used to the attention. She had begun assuming it was guaranteed. Then James did something different. He went quiet, not cruelly, not out of anger, but intentionally. He didn't vanish entirely from her life. He simply created space. He focused on his work, went to the gym, met friends, and lived fully. He didn't overthink her reactions, and he didn't chase. What happened next was fascinating. Emma didn't feel punished. She felt something else entirely. She felt a subtle tension, a gap she hadn't noticed existed. Her mind started recalling all the moments they'd shared, their laughter, their inside jokes, the times she'd felt seen by him. She started wondering why he wasn't as available, and slowly a magnetic pull grew inside her. This is the first secret of mastering silence. Cultivate value. You want her to notice your absence because your life is full and meaningful, not because you're punishing her or trying to make her jealous. A man who is fully invested in himself is far more attractive than one who constantly bends to another's schedule or demands. Your attention is valuable. Don't give it away like it's unlimited. The second part is creating emotional tension. When you go quiet, you don't create distance for the sake of distance. You create it because human psychology naturally fills gaps. Your absence makes her reflect. Her mind starts running scenarios, replaying memories, and imagining what she's missing. That emotional tension is the breeding ground for desire. It's the same pull that makes someone irresistible without saying a single word. The third, and perhaps most important, is protecting your own energy. Most men exhaust themselves by being available 24/7. They text, call, and respond instantly because they fear losing her. But by going quiet strategically, you preserve your energy, your time, and your focus. You maintain control over your emotions, which is the essence of stoicism in modern dating. When you protect your energy, you don't just become more attractive, you become unshakable. Here's the key takeaway. Going quiet, done correctly, isn't a game. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of value, mystery, and control. A man who understands this doesn't chase. He cultivates. He doesn't react. He responds. He doesn't give attention blindly. He invests it meaningfully. That's the difference between a man who is forgettable and a man who becomes unforgettable. Point 10. Final mindset shift. Now let's talk about the mindset that separates men who truly understand women from those who constantly chase validation. Here's the secret most men never grasp. Going quiet is not about losing her. Going quiet is about testing her investment. It's about seeing if she values what you bring into her life. A woman who notices your absence, who starts thinking about you, who feels a subtle pull, she's invested. Her mind and heart are engaged. That's the woman worth your attention. On the other hand, a woman who doesn't notice when you go quiet, who doesn't miss you, who doesn't reach out, she wasn't invested in the first place. And no amount of chasing, attention, or explanations will change that. Recognizing this early saves you from wasted energy, heartbreak, and frustration. By mastering the art of strategic silence, you gain multiple advantages. Increase her desire. Desire isn't created through constant attention. It's built through mystery, value, and emotional tension. When you go quiet, her mind begins to crave your presence. She starts replaying memories, imagining scenarios, and noticing the little things she took for granted. That craving, that's attraction on fire. Protect your own time and energy. Men who are always available exhaust themselves emotionally. Silence is a form of self-respect. It ensures that your life remains full, your mind sharp, and your energy reserved for things that matter, including relationships. Maintain emotional sovereignty. Stoicism teaches us to control our reactions, not external events. Her texts, calls, and moods are outside your control. Your response, composed, measured, and silent when appropriate, keeps you in control of your own emotional state. You become unshakable, become irresistible without saying a word. When you are a man of value, mystery, and self-discipline, your absence speaks louder than words. She notices your life, your presence, and the fact that you are not available to everyone. That magnetic pull is natural and undeniable. The ultimate truth is this: attention alone does not create desire. Desire is created through mystery, value, and scarcity. When you understand this, you stop chasing, stop over-explaining, and stop giving away your energy for free. You let her mind do the work, reflecting, longing, and ultimately craving the very presence you control. So remember, every time you feel the urge to chase or panic over silence, pause, reflect, go quiet. Let her mind fill the space. Let desire build. And let yourself remain calm, confident, and untouchable. That is the essence of strategic silence. And the moment she begins losing her mind, you'll know you've mastered it. Conclusion. So the next time you feel the urge to chase or over-explain, pause, breathe, stay silent. Because silence is the space where desire grows. And when you master that space, something powerful happens and she starts thinking about you, craving you, valuing you, all without you chasing. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.